Dubious ones, welcome back to the channel for some more Ultra Pro Wrestling news. Today we're going to take a quick look at a tweet that they put out stating when it comes to a creation suite in a wrestling game, what is most important to you? Now, in this video, I have something special saved for you guys for the very end. But before we get to that, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and share the video with your friends. But let's really get into it here. For me, when it comes to a creation suite in a wrestling game, I would say the most important thing to me is probably you're looking at the image uploader, really. Community creations and the image uploader are going to be two of the most important parts. Because if we can fully edit all these in-game wrestlers, as you can see, and take all the assets that are in the game, that's awesome. But you need to be able to have the logos. As you can see, this is from a very early build of the game. The game has changed a lot since this trailer went out. But if you look at this character here, and he looks similar to like maybe a Shawn Michaels type or something, you want to be able to change those parts of his pants and be able to put the proper Shawn Michaels logos on them, right? You want to be able to cover these clothes in the proper logos to make them look accurate to the character you're looking for. Same with the hair, face, other features. You want to be able to add those things in. This right here, never noticed before. This guy, absolutely terrifying. Again, super early build of the game. This is like pre-alpha. But some of these audience members look terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, but I do like these UPW shirts in the LWO style, NWO style. I like those. Stuff I never actually noticed in these original, what do they call it? The gameplay footage or trailer they showed off before the Kickstarter. But the fact that we are supposedly at least getting a paint tool guaranteed to us, so that you have an in-game paint tool that some creators will be able to use to be able to create lifelike recreations of whatever it might be, an NWO sign, Shawn Michaels, hearts with the HBK on them, or, Bret Hart's singlet, or an art. But if you want something more complicated, like an RVD singlet, it's going to be really hard for someone to do in like a paint tool, versus if you have an image uploader to just upload those singlets, same way people do in the 2K series. I think that's most important to me. Obviously, the freedom that I know we're already getting from this game, where we're going to be able to edit every piece of the gear on the wrestler. And any piece of gear that's on any wrestler in-game, or on any DLC wrestler that you purchase in the game, you'll be able to use those attire parts, whether it's a jacket, an elbow pad, a knee brace, a knee pad, boots, whatever it might be. You're going to be able to use all those assets and change them, change the color, change the designs on them. Whatever it might be, you're going to be able to change all that stuff up, which I'm very, very excited about. So even just having the 100 wrestlers that are going to be in-game at launch, plus all the DLC wrestlers, and being able to use all the assets that are attached to any of those wrestlers. Like you can see Bill Dollar's boots here. You can use those on anybody's character. Now, if you can change Dollar and Bill Dollar on them to a different name or a logo or something, that's great. Same thing with his jacket. If you can cover that with different logos and change what it looks like and not just the coloring, then that's going to be fantastic. But the image uploader for me is definitely going to be your number one thing to really make things for creators a lot easier. And when they're asking Creation Suite, they're not just talking about wrestlers either. They're talking about arenas, you know what I mean, and your rings, your ring aprons. So when you want to be able to have your own custom logos to really make that creating of everything that much easier and user-friendly for everybody else. So again, for me, the number one thing has to be the image uploader and community creations. To me, they go hand in hand. They are one and two to each other. The fact that we are getting community creations for sure, and hopefully the image uploader, I'm very, very excited about. Obviously, if we don't get the image uploader at launch, the paint tool is a nice addition. And as you can see, the updated, crowd members looking a little better than they did in the alpha. So again, this is also pre-alpha footage. This stuff, again, not representative of the final product of the game, as we can see. But you can see the massive improvements from what we're seeing here to what we saw at the beginning of the video. So I'm loving to see the progress they're making. As far as other things, I want custom stuff in the Create a Wrestler that you wouldn't have necessarily on any of the in-game roster, perhaps. Like, I know Sam had spoke with us when we had our interview with him. He had mentioned that they want to have things like, say, Goku or Vegeta from Dragon Ball's hair or their Super Saiyan hair in the game that wouldn't necessarily be an asset that would go on an in-game wrestler, but they'll have it in the creation suite so that you can create those Dragon Ball characters. Same thing goes for, like, I want to be able to see, like, Karate Gis, or, the Dragon Ball Gis, or Saiyan armor, or just assets that are going to have weird things that you wouldn't normally have on a wrestler, like with the shoulder pads, the elbow pads, like, just stuff like, you know what I mean? Like, if you see a Dragon Ball character with Saiyan armor, that kind of asset probably isn't going to go with, like, the shoulder pads and everything else that goes with it. You're not going to be able to just do that with just images over the ass. You'll actually need assets in the creation suite to be able to create that. So I want to see a multitude of different crazy stuff in the Create a Wrestler so that you can make a perfect Ninja Turtle. So you have the shell on the back or something. So you can make your perfect Dragon Ball characters or Street Fighter characters or whatever anime or video game character out of anything you can think of to make a proper Batman, a Spider-Man, a Marvel character, DC character, doesn't matter who it might be. I want to have things like a proper Batman mask with ears, or, with the points. You want to have a full covering mask like for a Spider-Man, which would probably be a lot more easier and more expected in a wrestling game. But just stuff like that. Stuff to be able to create out-of-the-box stuff that isn't necessarily just recreating actual wrestlers. Being able to create your own sandbox of superheroes and supervillains and all that kind of stuff. And I know because Hal Haney is such a talented artist, and he does stuff with, like, superheroes and supervillains and stuff. Like, as you can see, Gordenzai is a perfect example here of a character who has things that normal other characters wouldn't necessarily have. Now, could you turn these shoulder pads into a Legion of Doom type of shoulder pads? Maybe, but, like, just seeing the artwork, I think Hal Haney could bring in a lot for them as far as ideas from different parts, just from his stuff that's not wrestling. Like some of his work that is, that has to do with, superheroes, comic book stuff. He does art for a million different things, and it's all really incredible. And he can maybe help them know what kind of assets they want to throw in here. I love that Gordenzai has his unique shoulder pads and armbands here. This is the kind of stuff, and you can see on his attire here, this kind of stuff could be used for, like, building a Saiyan style armor, right? Because this is kind of similar features, but I want to have more stuff that is, like, specifically, you can make this now, like a turtle shell on the back for a Ninja Turtle, being able to change facial structure and stuff like that, assets and stuff like this. But I love that he has, like, a Rhino style helmet, so you could make, like, the Rhino from Spider-Man. There's little stuff and things that I'm sure we'll find in entrance gear and stuff like this to be able to get to do that, but I want to see more of that. I want to see an expansive Create a Wrestler that allows me to create so many things beyond just actual wrestlers, if that makes sense. But Dubious Ones, I want to know from you guys, what is the most important part of a creation suite to you? Do you value the image uploader? Is it, having a million different color sets in the color wheel and different shades of everything to get the perfect color on the different things? Being able to do hair dye, so you can have more than one color for hair. You know what I mean? Being able to put multiple streaks and different colors in the hair. What is it that's important to you guys that you want to see come from the Creation Suite and from the Create a Wrestler? That's what I want to know. Here we're getting a little bit of the CAW features. This is perfect timing for this. But yeah, being able to switch things like change the wrestler size, very important. Being able to remove and add logos to things, very, very important. But sound off in the comments down below what you think is the most important part. And of course, I'll link all of UPW's socials in the description down below for you guys, so you can reach out to them directly. And obviously you can respond to their X post, to their Twitter post yourself, and let them know what you want to see from the Creation Suite. Here is just giving us a little idea how you can change all the colors and the different parts of the attires and stuff. That's all cool and everything, but I want to be able to add, like, if I see his mask right here, I want to be able to take this part of the mask off. I want to be able to add horns, add different parts to the mask, Add Batman ears. Add whatever it might be to change up the masks and stuff like that. I want assets and the freedom to be able to add stuff. Add spikes to arm pads. Add just different things everywhere. But yeah, that's my thoughts. That's what I would like to see. Now, let's get on to the big surprise. So I have, as I mentioned before, a little surprise for you guys. This is not confirmed in any way, stretch, or form, but this might be a spoiler. I had to point this out because I saw it. The first thing I saw, what showed up in my Twitter feed, in my X feed, when it comes to a creation suite in a wrestling game, what is most important to you? Now, who was the first response I saw when I saw this? Well, let me zoom out for you guys so you can see. I saw the one, the only, the real RVD, at the real RVD. This is Rob Van Dam, 1 million followers. This is Rob Van Dam. He responded, tits and ass. Which, yes, hilarious as it might be, and how it's got, 16,000 views on that. I responded to that. RVD responding to Ultra Pro Wrestling? Is there not a new DLC announcement that I haven't heard about yet? I'm looking at you, Ultra Pro Wrestling. To me, this is the number one potential DLC roster member I was hoping to see in the game from day one. RVD, Bret Hart probably a close second or third. Those are guys I really wanted to see in this. Obviously, because of Legends deals and stuff through WWE or possibly AEW, there's going to be a lot of guys we're not able to get into this game. But if they have Rob Van Dam on, is like Ultra Pro Wrestling is on Rob Van Dam's radar. Now, I know he's friends with Sabu and Bill Alfonso and some of the guys that are getting in this game, but you know that they have talked. You know 100%. Ultra Pro Wrestling and RVD have some form of relationship here. They have to, for the fact that RVD is responding to Twitter. Now, I promise, I have zero insight on this. Zero information. But I can connect dots. I'm seeing Rob Van Dam reply to a post about a wrestling game creation suite. When it comes to a creation suite in a wrestling game, what is most important to you? I don't see RVD responding to like 2K's WWE posts and patches and tweets, but he responded to Ultra Pro Wrestling's. So to me, I'm very optimistic that we're getting the whole effing show coming to Ultra Pro Wrestling. At least I hope he is. I really, really hope that this is a sign and not just some weird coincidence. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think Rob Van Dam responding to this tweet means anything? Is it leading somewhere? Are we going to get, in my opinion, one of the greatest in-ring and most incredible to watch in-ring performers of all time? One of the most innovative wrestlers of all time, with one of the most unique move sets in the world, some of the best moves and highlight reel moves in the business. RVD, I know we're going to get his Van Daminator. I know we're getting some variation of the Van Terminator. But are we going to get the man himself, Rob Van Dam, as DLC? I really hope so. Fingers crossed. And I will be buying that DLC. I don't care how much it costs. I hope it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. But I don't care how much he costs individually. I will be making sure I get him if he is coming to this game. Anyways, Dubious Ones, that was the big surprise. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sound off in the comments down below because I want to hear from you. What do you think? Are you excited? And do you think we're getting the man? You think he's coming? I hope so. Anyways, that'll do it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.